going to work is we'll have 2 videos, one for the men's, one for the women's, where we preview some of the teams to watch. We're not just going to go through every team because we don't have enough time and you're probably bored already. So we're just going to run through a few teams who we think is going to be teams that break through to the playoffs, maybe teams that have made a lot of changes in the off-season, and people who think you should keep an eye out for. So let's get into it. This is the men's episode of NBL1 East preview show. It's good to be back.
Sponsored by Sizzlers coming up.
Come and help yourself to the best lunch idea around town. It's fresh fruit and salad, succulent seafood, traditional pasta, and juicy steaks. Everything you need for a great lunch. And it's all at a price that'll bring a smile to your face.
Yeah, let's keep it sizzling, and we've got plenty of lunch deals coming up. So starting off, Garen, we're asking who didn't make the top 4 last season, who's due to break into the top 4 this season. I'm going to get us going by saying the Albury-Wodonga Bandits men's side. I mean, they went crazy this off-season. They've got Callum McDonald coming up from Melbourne to fill in the centre position because Boogie Parks is out. You've got Dave O'Hickey. Whoa, that's massive. He had a breakout season for Illawarra Hawks in NBL. And what a start he was
currently playing 3-on-3, I believe.
Yeah, for Australia.
Junior and top Lanchfield. So
yeah, what
a 3-on-3 lineup that is going to be, or has been. You can watch the highlights on Fever.com.
Yeah, so Dave O'Hickey's gone down to the border, which is just massive. It's an NBL level player lining up in NBL1. But another player who's NBL talent worthy, Sean Montague, also going into the border town. So, oh my God, those wings are ridiculous.
And yeah, what signing that is. I mean, obviously there was so many elements to his game that Aubrey liked. His athleticism being number 1, his good nature being number 2, great teammate. What more do you want from someone that's consistent and professional? And he's a good teammate all around, so that's a great pickup by Aubrey.
Yeah, and then returning, we got Jacob Sinkarak and Lockie Cummings, as well as the import Blaylock. So, wow, that is a stacked lineup. The only question I have for the Bandits is who's going to run the point. You've still got Eric Mia Flores. I know an East Coast game they're talking about Lockie Cummings, maybe talking point guard, which I think's that running the point guard.
Share the responsibilities. Mia Flores might come off the bench, might start. Cummings gives you that energy, the floor spacing. Yeah, just good assets, good point guard depth. So a bit disappointing last year, the Bandits, but we think they're a team that could really break into the top 4. And Garen, you're a team that could potentially break into the top 4, which is a bit smoky. Yeah, I'm going Hills Hornets. Well, they signed Chris Bryant from Inner West to the Hills Hive. Already loving it, already fitting in, handing glove. Chemistry is looking great. Got to catch their game at the Blitz, Hills versus Hornsby. So popping off there as well, hit a couple big threes.
Yeah, shooting
that turnaround jump shot's looking great. So his jump shot's staying in form for any scouts watching, and his athleticism is just what else would you expect? I mean, jumps out the gym, got the balance, can play the dunker spot well, and good timing on that little push shot. So his repertoire is to full extent.
And Chris Bryant, who was such a big part of the Inner West Bulls getting the top seed last season. Of course, they had plenty of talented players, but Chris Bryant was a huge driving force behind that. So if he can do the same for Hills, then they've got a really good chance, as we see here, of getting into that top 4.
Yeah, more of a scoring responsibility to go alongside the young guys. You think players stepping up, Saxon Orsini, and then you got insta buckets like Liam Moss, not only giving fresh haircuts, but fresh fades on the court. Actually, as we saw a tough rainbow.
Yeah, on Liam Moss, I think this is going to be a big breakout season for him. Just watching him in that Blitz game, he was looking really confident. His jump shot's looking exquisite. Yeah, really nice.
Spot on. So having that scoring, floor spacing guard to help out Chris Bryant. And then Saxon Orsini, young gun as well, who can also shoot. So him hit a big three as well. Hit that 4-point play, I think.
Yeah, 16 points in the Youth League Grand Final last season. And Mitch Smith is looking in incredible shape as well. A very athletic player, can bully his way to the ring.
Playing for Sydney Uni as well this season.
Yeah, so Sydney Uni.
Sitting off for Sydney Uni, so a lot of talent in the Hills Hive from the men's squad. And that's sort of my dark horse team who I think is going to move up to that top 4 spot. Given they can build that team chemistry and get guys that you really want to step up, just be consistent in stepping up this season. So
yeah, a good mix of youth and older talent. But of course, players like Paul Brotherson retiring, so we'll see if the young guns can take the spot.
Statue coming soon.
Statue coming soon, yeah. Sponsored by Hills Shire Council.
Yeah.
So looking at bronze at the moment, but if we can get it up to a gold statue, that'd be great. Marble also acceptable.
Go find the link down in the description below for any gold statue sponsors in the Hills area that just want to donate a gold statue to.
The question we're going to ask is, who won the off-season? Who had the best off-season? in terms of signings, and I think it's pretty clear. The first two teams I mentioned probably could have been it, but I'm going with the Bankstown Bruins.
Yeah.
Now, Bankstown Bruins. Now, I gotta catch my breath before we get into these signings. We got Andre Wolford, averaged 26 points for the Port Macquarie Dolphins in Waratah League last season. Whoa, that's big.
Adding consistent scoring already tick off in the box. Someone like that can put up 20 points a game.
And
so check.
Yeah, check him out. I mean, we've talked about him before, but man, that's a huge scoring option for them. Nay Hightower as well, another import coming over from NBL1 West. So he's going to be a great presence at the forward position. Then you've got Sharif Sapaya coming over from Hornsby Kooringa Spiders, returning to the Bankstown Bruins. So he'll probably play the point guard position, but I think he'll have less offensive responsibility than he did with the Spiders.
They're so stacked. They're such a good team on paper. It's just more so how can you build that chemistry and balance this much talent on one team. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah, and the big thing as well for Bankstown, I mean, they've got Blankley and Lopez back, which we talked about in our preview video already, but the youth they've brought in is just incredible. Tom Uvak, player we've had huge raps on for a long time. Great shooter, was with Comets last season, didn't quite get the NBL1 experience that he may have was looking for. They had plenty of talent on the Comets. So Uvak maybe positionally got stuck there. So keep an eye out on him.
Cage
McLaughlin as well.
Stepping up from Inner West to Bankstown. So
yeah,
another young, big, can finish around the basket. If you can hit that 3-point shot consistently, watch out because he's just very versatile in that position. Can play the 3, the 4, sometimes can play the 2 and the 1. I don't know, he's just a Swiss Army knife on offense. And on defense, given his mobility as a player. So
yeah, another one who might just get his position, might just get his opportunity with Bankstown. One in Guada as well, really impressive centre from Hills, moving over to Bankstown. Was a big part of that Hills Youth League grand final run last season. Another UTS player. I know we're just rattling them off here, but there's so much depth in this Bankstown team. Milan Svetonovsky, we've had huge raps on him playing centre, tearing up Youth League, but maybe this will be the year where he gets his NBL1 opportunity. Hunter Nichols as well, point guard.
Good luck, coach, trying to figure out minutes with this much talent. I was coaching the other weekend, and it's hard to find minutes for 10 guys, let alone finding minutes for such talented, deep roster. Like, it's crazy, so good luck on managing minutes.
Yeah, and Luke Vassell as well.
Luke Vassell,
man. They've just got so many people. So this is the key, though, for a lot of NBL1 team success, is having that depth. If you're going to have a stacked youth league side that can come in and plug the holes, I think Maitland's another one of these teams that has
team depth, and I
really
feel like players buying into the system. Players have to buy into what the coach is sort of trying to build. In the culture of Bankstown, so if players can buy into that, that's a load off the coach's shoulders for sure.
Yeah, so and new coach as well, Curtis Sadi.
Sadi, BNSW royalty, also stepping up in the Bankstown Bruins, the blue and blue.
Yeah, the light blue and the navy, I guess. Moving on now to a dark horse team. My pick for dark horse team of the season is the Crusaders.
Crusaders. The Mustangs we saw last weekend, because I saw a couple dark horses down.
Oh.
And the Mustangs stable, I drove past and I saw about 3 or 4 dark horses. Some light ones too, but a lot of dark horses down there. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, great job.
Maitland's a place to be for dark horses. But
yeah, great job on the puns there, Gary.
Scouting on the horses? On the puns, yeah, sure.
On the horses, yeah. I mean, spring carnival season is over, but the Crusaders, they're put together a really good off-season, and I think last season maybe disappointed a bit. There's a lot of word around that they, had games that they could have won and just faded towards the last few minutes, but Luke Cassidy and Trustham are back. We've talked about them plenty on our previous shows, so go check those ones out on our YouTube channel, which you're probably watching this on now. But the new pickups, Ben Stevens, the big Canadian from the NBL1 West.
Yeah, everything, the pancakes, the scrambled eggs, the bacon, the beans, you name it. It's the Canadian breakfast, the full package. Wow, and Crusading on.
Yeah, and that maple syrup touch in the paint is just sweet. He's got a little
have the maple
push
syrup.
shots.
Guys, you gotta have the maple syrup on a breakfast.
Yeah,
you can't have eggs, bacon, and all the goodies without maple syrup.
Mm.
You just can't, mate. You can't have it.
Yeah, and 2 players moving up from NBL1 South. We've got Robbie Heath, who we also talked about previously, had experience with Cairns and NBL Chan Nai as well. Featured in the South, I think with Kilsyth Cobras, or I don't know, I made this mistake last video. Tom Akamamo is coming back. So yeah, there's great depth here on this Crusader side, really quality talent. I think they'll go to the next level this season. I think keep an eye out for the Central Coast Crusaders, often overlooked. One of the smaller clubs up and down New South Wales, but the Crusaders have just done really well. One more import actually that we didn't get to cover in our previous shows was Evan Wildlow, a Division 1 college graduate from Santa Clara University. He's played 3 years in Croatia.
There you go.
So yeah, no slouch of a country when it comes to basketball, Croatia.
I've got to touch up on my Croatian, Serbian. I've got to touch up on my languages this year because there's so many international players.
That's true, and international viewers as well.
Yeah, so shout out to any international viewers from wherever, maybe Croatia, I guess.
Yeah, and I know we've got a huge following in Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Really? Oh, I knew the Bosnian beast was watching something.
Yeah, that's true. He is. But we'll get back to that later. Evan Wildlow as well, another player playing in NBL1 South last season for the Kilo Thunder. Yeah, he's going to be great for them to come in as well. The Crusaders really putting together a good roster here under new coach John White. Another player coming up from Victoria, was an assistant coach with the Bendigo Spirit in the WNBL. In 2022, he was the Big V State Championship Men's Coach of the Year as the head coach of the Sunbury Jets.
Wow.
Moving on now, this is a segment I want to call Serious Title Threats. This is a team that didn't make the grand final last season, but is seriously gearing up for a title run, and that is of course the Inner West Bulls. Finished top of the table last season, and wow, they've done really well recruiting to replace the imports. Jake Omar and Zach Hudson we've talked about a lot, but they looked really sharp at the NBL1 Blitz.
We were able to catch up with intel for your Inner West Bulls, Matt McQuaid. Greatest person to get all the intel from, stats, nuggets, everything.
Yeah, what did he say?
Inner West, you said Jake Omar is a lights out shooter. From anywhere on the court, catch and shoot, got to close out. He's legit. He's legit. He's a real thing. So definitely, if NBL1 decides to add in an All-Star weekend, a 3-point shooter, a slam dunk contest, why not put like guys like Jake Omar, Lockie Hutchinson, Brendan Reimer, Robbie Moore? There's a bunch of shooters, Will Cranston, in the league that deserve to be in the 3-point shootout. So yeah, you're Inner West loading up and shooting with Jake Omar as their first signing. Who else we got in the Inner West?
Yeah, so there's those two imports. Fiketti's coming down from Mackay to Inner West Bulls, which is a great veteran wing player to have. But they managed to maintain the rest of their roster. So
of the league.
Yeah. Tolivai's back. Alexander Higgins-Titcher, who's my pick for MVP. That's right. Alexander Higgins-Titcher's for MVP this season.
That's not a wrong shout. He's got the keys to the offense a bit more this year. Really working on that off ball and really working on that on the dribble 3-point shot, couple dribbles, stepping into the three. Yeah. I mean,
they'll have a point to prove this season. The Bulls.
They'll put up 10 plus rebounds a game, and if you can crack that 20 points a game, mate, you're not far off from MVP. So it's a good shout for MVP.
And that was another McQuaid little fact nugget there. That Alexander Higgins-Titcher's looking bigger and better than ever. Didn't think he'd get much better. He's an awesome player, so he'll dominate this season and probably get a little more space in the front court with Chris Bryant moving on. Yeah, he should get him an NBL contract, get him in the NBA. Why not? So yeah, the Bulls are a serious title threat. But speaking of title threats, let's check in with how Maitland and the Sharks did in the off-season. So Maitland, of course, beat the Bulls. They knocked the Bulls out last season, and Sutherland Sharks went on to win the championship. So let's just check in, because these two teams, I think, would be just as good, if not maybe slightly better than last season.
Oh, for sure.
The Sharks and Maitland both held the majority of their roster together. A few chop and changes here and there, especially with the imports. So for Maitland, Kevin Warren's out. They've got Christian Little coming in. So another player who's looking really good at the blitz.
Well, speaking to the Maitland players, they're fans of Christian Little so far, and the rapport and the chemistry is being there. Caught up with Matt Gray for quite a while, so it gave us the insights and the intel.
Yeah, the Grey
What's
Goose.
happening at the beautiful Maitland Stadium. We were able to visit on the weekend, so yeah.
But if you want to hear more about that, tune into our podcast. It'll be probably available on Spotify. I'm not too sure. We haven't made it yet. But tune in for it or listen in. I don't know. Open your ears.
We'll figure it out. When in due time, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
And Matt Gray coming back from that experience playing in Europe, so he's going to be bigger, better, faster, stronger than ever before. Of course, the MVP, Will Cranston Lowndes coming back. Got all the youth league boys. The Beaverses, Billy Parson. It's the depth that we were talking about earlier that Bankstown has now, that Maitland, I think, also has. So definitely title contenders. The Maitland Mustangs, they've done really well holding on to a lot of their players and maintaining that culture from season to season. Moving on to the Sharks, Garen, they've also managed to hold on to the furniture pretty well. Hutchinson's back, Rivera's back, Cal Norris, Gerlach, pretty much everyone's back besides Markel Beasley from last season. After losing Markel Beasley and Dane Gack as well, they have managed to replace those players pretty well. Clara Zamir, a Kings development player. Yeah, big signing. I think they call him the King of Cogra. But of course, St. George doesn't have an NBL1 team, so Sharkies kind of close enough. That may have offended a lot of people, what I just said. Dragons and Sharks do not get along. But anyway, that's...
in the rugby league is crazy.
Yeah, and in the basketball as well. But we'll get into St. George's new jerseys in the podcast as well, so tune into that. Brian Williams has also signed an import signing for the Sharkies.
The Wisconsin Herd alumni.
Yeah.
He averaged 3.4 points per game in the G League. More of that slashing sort.
That's 3.4 points more than us combined.
100%. If you can score points in the G League, any level in professional leagues in the US, that's tough. But yeah, more of a slashing kind of player. Can occasionally hit up from three and give you that 3-point shot. Still got to respect the shot and put a hand up, but his forte is inside. He's just athletic and finish. And
a good wing defender as well. Pat Williamson was saying in a media release. Yeah, so that's pretty good. We're getting a little more media around things. There's also a whole bunch of Canberra players coming up. A lot of Sharkies players, a big rap on Mohamedou Fall, part-time model, full-time superstar for Sutherland Sharks. So Sharks have done pretty well to, fill in those gaps that they were leaving, and there's no reason why they can't go back-to-back. However, I think this season for the Sharks will be a bit different because teams will be expecting them to be good. But that Sharks culture they've developed down there, the buy-in from the players, they all seem to really enjoy playing together. I think
we spoke to Ben. It's the pre-game feeds. Post-game feeds. What do they have? The Domino's pizza and the garlic bread. And pop open a bowl of red and just chill back and enjoy some NBL1.
Pretty well. I mean, considering that Sizzler Cobra is closed, they did pretty well. They don't get to go to Sizzler anymore, which actually is our major sponsor for today's video. So we'll be back after the ad break.
So where to? Sizzler. Yeah. So where to for lunch tomorrow? How about Paris? Paris? For lunch? I don't want to spend a lot of money.
The steak, seafood, salad.
What's the world come to these days? I mean, no all-you-can-eat buffets on Thursdays. Oh man.
No lunch options either. I mean,
no lunch options.
We might have to go to Paris for lunch. We have to because now Sizzler's closed.
Yeah, unless the one in Port Macquarie still exists, which I don't think so. Damn.
Let us know. I might have to ask Andre Wolford if the Port Mac Sizzler's still going. So major sponsors, thank you to Sizzler for still sponsoring our video.
Glad Blackstone still exists. Or do they? We'll find out next episode. James,
that might be the next sponsor. So that's all we have time for today. Garen, it's going to be a great NBL1 men's season. Sorry we couldn't get to all the teams, but those are definitely teams to watch out for, teams that are looking to improve, teams that will probably be at the top of the table. If you want to hear more, as I said, tune into our podcast. We'll probably go into a little more depth, or not, we might get a little more sidetracked.
We'll hit up James on 2 feet, where he can give you all his insights. Just give him a DM at 2 feet in the paint, and he'll get back to you ASAP.